Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We've got Ryan on today, and he's going to tell us all about his business and his little side hustle that he has going for him and how anyone can make money from it. So Ryan, I think, firstly, thank you for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
but I think the best place for us to start it off is, where are you up to now in your business and what is it that you do?
So we basically, it's mine and my dad's business, although my dad's, like I said earlier, semi-retired, but I mainly sell car exterior parts, anything from headlights to bumpers to wheels, you name it. But then we started doing that I'm 36 now. I've been doing this since I was like 18. Went from like the car body trade to actually like fixing bumpers, doing a bit of paintwork and stuff. And then my dad going into the parts side because he's done bodywork, paintwork since he was like my age. Went into the parts and then literally we ain't looked back since. The money's way better and stuff and less work, less hassle. It's just all eBay related now, our stuff is. So everything's all online, sell all over the place,
So when you say parts, like what kind of like car parts like do you mean?
Literally from headlights to grills that fit in the bumpers, alloy wheels, tail lights, wing mirrors, bonnets, doors, literally anything on the outside of a car, pretty much. That's pretty much it, really. Like, so obviously to start with, it was just bumpers and headlights originally, but then like I think as the business has grown over the years, you just get offered all sorts of stuff. Then you say, I've got like a load of wing mirrors I want to get rid of, a load of grills and wheels you want to get rid of, and it's like, all right. Can't say no to it nowadays, so it's like, all right, I'll have a look, and then before you know it, it's like word of mouth. A lot of it is. My dad's been in the trade a long time. It's word of mouth, and it's just kind of, them guys down, Canonical, all be interested in that sort of stuff, and it just spoiled from there, really. Like, so we just sell, like I say, anything,
anything car part,
anything related on the outside of the car, pretty much. Now, it's mad.
So at the moment, you're selling all different car parts, and that's like your full-time business that you do every day.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't mind saying, like how much you like turning over per month, like flipping car parts?
I mean, like I'd have to say, it's got to be. I had a look the other day, and I think I did the last sort of 3 months ish, like from now to like last year, which is about October, November time, and I think we're on. Well, the one account, she's got 2 eBay accounts at the moment still. Okay. Because one's like my name, and the one's still in my dad's like business, which I think maybe the next 12, 18 months, it'll probably just come into one when he officially hangs his gloves up, so to speak. But I think I did just over 40, about 3 months, about 41,000 sales on mine. Mad. And that's not including my dad's. My dad's is probably a rough guess, about 25k. So, you're over 60k in 3 months. Yeah,
so you're basically doing like £20,000 a month in like...
I'd say so, definitely. I remember my payout, my eBay payout, because we get paid out every week, and last week it was $5,500 it was last week. Nice. It's good, man, it's good.
And out of that, so we'll get onto this in a minute, but like out of that, like them total sales, what is like the hottest seller and what's like the most profitable thing that you sell?
It's got to be headlights, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
LEDs, Xenon headlights, that's where the money is, like we're finding at the minute. Wheels are obviously good as well. We don't get sets, we just get like odd ones, but even if you get like an odd AMG wheel that's 20, 21 inch or something, you're still going to get 200 to 300 quid per wheel. So if you get a couple of them a week, that's like 600 quid just on a couple of those. But it's the headlights, mate. The headlights are just like, some of them are daft money. They really are, I thought they are. Just like...
If you want to learn more about flipping car parts and you want to learn from Ryan himself, me and Ryan are hosting a completely free webinar this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. The link is in the description of this video. All you have to do is register. There's limited spaces, so make sure you're on the registration list, and I will see you all there. We're going to be explaining exactly how anyone can do this, and as well how you can learn directly from Ryan, and you can make great money out of this side hustle. Anyway, right back to the pod. So we'll get into that now, and I know like you're working on something new as well. Where with the headlight stuff, it's one of them things where basically anyone can do it, right?
Yeah, God. I've taught myself, like I did carpentry for a year at college for 12 months after school, and like I just didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. I think I just didn't know what I wanted to do, so I tried to get into a trade.
What was you doing in there?
What carpentry like?
Yeah.
Mate, just literally, I was at college for a year, but basic basic woodwork, like literally like, yeah, just like minimal, like
making little like cupboards and
putting
stuff.
little tables together and like legs on tables and stuff. And then it was, yeah, I didn't enjoy it. And it was a case of like, you get told to go into a trade when you're younger, and I was like, that was the only one that appealed to me. Like, you know, bricklaying and plumbing and all that never appealed to me.
Yeah.
But I did it for a year, didn't enjoy it, dropped out of college, and then like my dad said, you ain't sitting on your ass basically. Playing Xbox like all the time and stuff. So he was obviously doing the car stuff then. He's like, come and work with me for a weekend and just see how you get on. And then that just went from there. Then we just ended up like working full time with him. Even though he said originally, don't get into the car trade like many years ago because the money was crap. And long hours, the money was not good, and it's hard work as well. Back in that day, it was hard graft for what you got paid for it. And he was like, don't ever, you can do it temporary, but I wouldn't recommend coming into it full time because, like, trust me, I've done it long enough, and the money ain't all that like. But obviously, fast forward to now, times have changed, and parts are just like ridiculously expensive for certain stuff. So yeah, it's the best decision I've done, to be honest. Just like ignored him, did my own thing. Like,
I got you. Yeah, so how did you get into the headlights then?
So, like say originally when me and my dad started, he's always doing like little bumper repairs, like
like fixing them, like little
little repair, little scuffs on the ends, like repairing them, painting them, fitting them, etc. And then like the headlights was more like we were starting to buy bumpers and headlights in stock from various like body shops, companies, etc. Like new old stock, like parts that ordered for jobs get cancelled, and then main dealers won't have the items back. So it's a case of you either bin them or you sell them to someone. And body shops nowadays ain't got the time to list them on eBay themselves. They're far too busy. So the headlights come in through that way, and then like over the years I just saw, because I'd noticed some of the headlights sell for, even I'm talking like 10, 15 years ago, some of the headlights are fetching like, you know, good money. And I was like, maybe there's a way you could actually just find headlights on eBay, like other potential suppliers on there. And that's literally where it spiraled from. I just started buying. I was like, what's the worst case that could happen? Literally, if they're no good, I'll sell them for what I paid for them. I'll just send them back to the seller and just say, like, that sounds bad, but I've made out I've ordered the wrong one or something. So you get your money back, all that sort of malarkey. But it's more of that. It's more trial and error. Just bought a load, sold some good ones, sold some not so good ones, and it just spiraled from there. And then, do
you remember the first one that you bought? The first one that like you sold?
I can't, to be honest. One of the things I bought, I remember, which is really weird, was Vauxhall Astra VXR, like the Mark 5 Astra VXR. It was a rear bumper I bought in the blue colour, and I think I found it on eBay. I think it was like 25 quid.
For the bumper?
For the bumper, yeah. It had a big crack on it though as well. Yeah. Crack was about that big on the top of it. And I thought, you know what, someone will buy that. And I actually remember I took it to my old house. I was renting to at the time, and I had it in my lounge, the bumper. The bumper was in my lounge, and I'm sure I paid 25 quid for it. I think I sold it for like 80 quid. But I was like,
with the crack still on it?
Yeah, with the crack still on it, yeah. Because even to like a garage, they could take that to a body shop, like a private one, and just say, like, you know, how much to fix that. Yeah. And someone would easily repair it, because trying to buy one from Vauxhall would literally cost you, I don't know, probably 400 or 500 quid. And you've still got to paint it and fit it and all that malarkey as well. So like, if you get it for like the right price, pay someone a little bit of money just to repair and paint it, you're still going to be saving money. And I think ever since I did that, I was like, I think I'm onto something here. Like there could be a little potential of buying a few parts here and there. And I've done all sorts, like, you know, drove to garages on weekends and drove to people's houses and picked stuff up at silly o'clock, like 8, 9 o'clock at night and stuff like, and just, I don't know, trying to get a bit of extra cash in, as we all need, like, really. So, and then it's just, fast forward to now, I don't do that anymore. It's the case of I just go on eBay, I know what to search for. I've got a load of direct suppliers who just text me and just say, mate, I've got a load of stuff, send me pictures, and it's a yes or no, basically, and just go from there. But yeah, I was on eBay every day, like constantly.
Just constantly searching.
I was like doing my job as well, like obviously advertising the car bumpers on eBay. Yeah. This is when eBay like first come out as well. I don't know when it come. eBay.
So when you got into the car trade, was eBay not even a thing at the start?
No, it wasn't.
Mad. That is crazy.
I'm sure eBay didn't come until about, don't quote me on this, could be wrong, but it was about 2001, I think, early 2000s. And And like at the time I was working with my dad, but we had no interest of the parts then. He was just purely just doing the car bumpers, repairs, nothing internet based, all just like local word of mouth, advertising in the local paper. That's that sort of thing, do you know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden my dad just saw, he'd done it for 25 odd years, whatever it was. And he was like, I'm sick of doing it now, hard work, etc. And like there was a certain garage that we still go to now that he used to work at, and it was a case of he'd seen all the parts that were getting thrown away like every week. Bumpers getting thrown away with like little scuffs on, and headlights getting thrown away with even brackets missing. And he was like, how come they're just throwing these, they're literally throwing money away instantly. So that got him thinking, as in like, I wonder if we could just start a parts company up, just get rid of the repair side of things. Like
second-hand stuff?
Yeah, just second-hand, and then just see what happens from there. And then it's just literally gone from there. Like, you get your parts, like, because they're in the bin, they'd just say to us, like, mate, you can have them.
For free?
Yeah, you know, for free. Yeah, just have them. Like, for us, they don't owe us anything.
Yeah.
But the cars, they're all fitted and gone, repaired. If there's anything in the bin you want, etc., just have it. And I was like, all right, well, what's the worst can happen? So you get bumpers out of the bin with scratches on, and then we was binging them on eBay, and people were buying them. Like,
so how did you, so at this point, you go there and you was like, and you was getting the parts out of the bin and stuff and like fixing them up and whatever.
Yeah.
And then was it instantly like first thought, oh, like we're going to put these on eBay? Had you sold anything on eBay before, or?
I don't think I had, to be honest, now, because I think it was a kid from school. I remember it ages ago, years ago. He mentioned something about this eBay was coming up, and I was like, what's this eBay malarkey about? And then I looked, and I thought, oh, it's big. It looked like it was going to be a big auction site. I was like, hey, this could be all right for like car stuff. And then by the time I'd actually searched on there was people selling parts on there already. And I thought this could be a little opener here to actually get our parts kind of around the country, rather than just like people just buying in our local areas, such like a word of mouth and stuff again. And then that's where eBay suddenly picked up, and like you're putting bumpers on, and people were buying them from Glasgow, South Wales, Devon, all over the place. And like, man, this is mint. Whereas before eBay was here, it was all of you preying on a bit of local work to try and just tie you over every week, really. And then when eBay come in, it was a case of like, mate, you could literally sell anything on there, and people right up north, right down south are buying from you. And it's just like, okay, we think we're onto something now. And that's why we just like kept picking up the stock up. Like if the bumpers are still there for free, just keep bringing them all in. And all the scrap ones that were too bad, we'd either leave them there, or if it was something worth repairing, we'd like repair it and then sell it on eBay repaired. Mm-hmm. Like if we plastic welded it, if it had a crack in or something. So it's a case of all they've got to do is a bit of filler work and then prime and paint it and then go from there with it.
That's mad, man. So you was on like eBay early
days, mate. Yeah.
What was eBay like back then? Was it just like, how did it even work? Like buyer's protection and like payouts and stuff. Was it mad?
Yeah, I think like I can't remember the payouts were then, to be honest. Obviously, it was PayPal back then, like eBay and PayPal were together. So it used to go into your PayPal account, and I'm sure you had to like make a withdrawal from PayPal. Whether you got like an amount in your PayPal account worth withdrawing, it was a case of going on there withdrawing it manually. Whereas like, obviously now it's like you can have it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. I think protection wise, I think compared to now, like we've been scammed like a few times and stuff like over the years. We've seen every trick under the book on there before that.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
It's really, I don't know. I just think like it was very basic back then. Like just it was brand new on the scene. There was not a lot with it. I mean, it was just eBay and PayPal, these companies you'd never heard of, grouped together. And then obviously over the years it went really big. And then like before you know it, your big salvage yards are all on there. Your small traders are on there. And then now it's just flooded with sellers and
I can imagine.
Car traders.
It's like a go-to thing for car parts and stuff, innit?
I think it is now. I think it's a case of like, every time people phone us, it's all right, mate. So I'm so-and-so. I've been on eBay and seen you're listing for so-and-so. I've got the item number. Like, it's 90% of our trade is for eBay. Like, we don't get that much local anymore. It's just a case of someone will just do a search. Even Google, they'll Google search it, and if our advert comes up with their criteria they search for, like part numbers or specific search titles, it'll bring ours up. And then they'll just say, I found you on Google on an eBay advert, and then it just goes from there. Like so.
Mad, man. It's crazy I've been on it for that long.
Yeah, it's
but
a long time, man.
Moving on from there, so now you obviously like looking, you've been doing this for so many years and whatever, and you know now you kind of in getting into the business of like teaching other people like how to do this. So
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about that, like how it works, like how can anyone, like even if you have no car experience, like how can kind of anyone like get involved with this?
I mean, like you say, I've done it.
Like what does it involve, like the process of like doing it?
Yeah, I mean, like I've obviously done it because I had no experience in cars. Like you say, I did the carpentry for a little bit. I've always been into cars, but like I had no experience with like repairs or bumpers or whatever. And then like, essentially like, it's a case of just searching on eBay for the correct item, which obviously we'll probably go into in a bit the course that we're doing. All of this is explained on there, and it's perfect for like people who are not in the car trade. It's dead simple. You literally just got to like follow the tutorial videos. There's plenty of videos on there explaining what to look for, what to stay away from, and what to avoid, etc. It's like I do. It's a case of trial and error. At the end of the day, if you think you find something that's worth selling, all you got to do is basically copy and paste it on a separate tab, check the sold listings, check the active listings, and if you think there's a bit of profit there, just go for it. That's all I do. Just go for it, buy it. If it arrives in one piece, get it straight back on eBay, nice pictures, and if it's all like advertised correct, you'll sell it. Like they always sell. Worst case, like I said before, if you don't sell, you've got 90 days to return it on eBay now, which is like really decent.
Yeah.
Or worst case, just sell it for what you paid for it. Just chuck a few quid on to cover your seller fee, and you're not going to be out of pocket really. So yeah, it's a case of just. It is a lot of manual searching, but like I do now, I can just scroll through certain headlights I haven't got to even look at.
Yeah, you can. Do you just have that kind of like knack to kind of like you can just see it straight
certain
away?
Pictures like of maker models, I just literally scroll past the load and think not even interested in looking at them, nor them, and it's like your German stuff, obviously the best one, Mercs and BMWs and all that sort of stuff. They're all your best ones. Anything like I don't know, run of the mill, Vauxhall, Ford, etc. I just scroll past half of them and think, like, there is money inserted in those headlights maybe for beginners to try, but with me being VAT registered and that as well,
you
it's
need
not
a higher profit margin.
Nah, it's not worth the time or effort to do it. I'd rather like go for the bigger stuff and just make it a little bit worthwhile. But like you say, it's not saying that someone who's starting from afresh could just buy a cheap halogen headlight for 20 quid and probably still flip it for like 60, 70 quid, and you made a...
Yeah, literally, you made like
doubled
triple,
your money.
you doubled your money.
Yeah, easily. On your first one, you think just keep... All I do is keep reinvesting. I don't take any money out of the business, I just keep reinvesting it all.
Yeah.
And then, like, just... Some... You don't be alarmed, like some weeks you'll go on there and you might not find so much stock. I get it still now, and I'll be doing it that long, and I'll still struggle some weeks. I'm like, God, there's nothing this week. You try again the following week, you could drop on 4 or 5 things in one day. I'll be searching for like 20 minutes and like, I found 4 or 5 things, send all the offers through, and then try and get some deals done, and then just wait for them to arrive then. Yeah, flip them around. And
going from there, like, how does it kind of work with like the headlights? What's like the average price you're paying for them? What's like the average price that they like sell for? Like, how does that kind of stuff work? Like, what is it on average? Like a little bit of numbers game.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously it's very up and down. With certain headlights are just mega expensive compared to others, but like, I don't know, say for example, I bought a cheap Mondeo headlight last week.
Yeah.
Ford Mondeo, doesn't sound very special, but it's a titanium X one, which is the one with the black background, projector ball, etc. If people are in the car trade, titanium X models, they know that they're quite the rare, the decent spec Mondeos. And I found it on eBay, but it wasn't listed as that. It was just listed as a Mark IV Mondeo. But I could tell from the pictures, this is what my course will explain. It's all about looking at the pictures and making sure you know what you're looking for. Clicked on the advert and it was $49.99, free postage. No offers, but I thought, it's cheap, 50 quid, it's cheap that, it's really cheap. It looked a bit dull in the pictures, but I was like...
Were they like dodgy photos?
Not really. The actual headlight just looked like it'd been thrown edge backwards or something. And I was like, it probably just needs a good clean, a good mop, a good polish, a bit of TLC. I reckon we could do something with it. And it literally come last week, to be honest, and I only opened it yesterday, funnily enough. I opened it yesterday. And the box it come in, I did a TikTok video on it, like, and the box was battered, it come in. And I was like, oh, I ain't got my breath, I ain't holding breath for this one. The box was knackered.
Yeah.
But fair play to the bloke, he wrapped it up really well. and it was packed like mint, and I was just like, it's a shame from the outside. I had negative thoughts. Like, this is going to be an absolute crock. This is going to be like a nail. This is. But I opened it. It was exactly as described. It was mucky a bit, but I've polished it a bit. It's not too bad. But the cheapest on eBay, there's a guy got someone there for $230 each. So I was like, stuck it on for 200 quid, free postage. Someone local wants to pick it up, I'll do him a deal. There's profit there. And then
Literally.
that took me about 10 minutes to come across that one, did.
That's mad. So it's a quick like £100 profit from literally going on eBay, 5-10 minutes, looking for the products, obviously just going on, buying it. When it arrives, like, you know, I mean, you said you give it a quick polish, that type of thing. Yeah. And then, you know, you make £100 profit. It's so simple, isn't it?
It's just like, you haven't even got to like have the right equipment. When I say polish, I mean, I have got like a little polishing mop. I can mop the lenses with, etc. I only ever do that if like the lenses are like lacquered or like lacquer peel as such, or like really foggy and misted up. You can't hand buff them. You have to like get a mop on and a bit of a procedure to do it. But this one I looked, so I was like, it's just like really mucky. So just a bit of elbow grease and a bit of teacup, and it's
straight off.
It's straight off. There's a few marks like inside the lens which you can't do anything with, because it's probably where the bulbs probably burnt the lens a little bit, because it's got powerful bulbs in, being like a Xenon type. But for the age of the car, I think it come off at 2012. So like, you've got to expect, it's I have a 10-year-old car, you've got to expect a few marks here and there. The brackets are all good. It's a genuine Ford. That's all people are bothered about. As long as you had no bodge repairs or anything like that, they'll stick it on and think like, you know what, the car's X amount of years old anyway.
Yeah, you know, it's over 12 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not going to be, I'd rather undercut everybody if I can afford to do it, to try and get rid of it quicker, rather than being too greedy and asking like stupid money for it, rather than like, anyway, it's me 50 quid. If someone gives me 150 quid, 170 quid, they can have it, it's fine. It's one out the door, and I can go back on, reinvest some money, buy something else. But yeah, that was like a rough example. But then some headlights I can pay. I did a TikTok the other week again, and I paid 1,300 quid for 4 headlights, which sounds mega expensive. Yeah. And it was a company, obviously I won't say the company was, but well-known salvage company online. And the guy delivered to me in person, because they were so expensive. He was like, don't trust using couriers in case you get damaged, etc. And he was like, what are you going to do with these? Like, because he said, what do you do? And I was like, I'll just sell parts. He's like, so what are you going to do with these? I'm going to sell them. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm going to resell them and get some money off them. He's like, nah, surely not. I went, yeah, trust me. I said, it's fine. And he was like, how does it work though? And even the driver, he was just a delivery driver. He was actually really interested in like how I'd done it. And I just said, like, your company's offered a 50% sale on your items, and then there's a 15% coupon code I found as well. So like I say, 65%. I ended up spending over 1,500 quid in the end, because I bought a couple more the week later.
It's good, help yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, mate, trust me, like, it might take a while to sell, but I was like, and I sold one. I did sell one the other week. I put it on. It was a Golf 745 GTR one, and it owed me 300 quid, and I put it on for 6, and it sold within 2 days. So I was like,
for 600 quid?
Yeah, and I paid 300.
Deal, 300 quid profit.
Yeah, no offers, 600 quid, and that's what they were selling for.
Mad.
Bang, it just went out within 2 days. Like, so I've already got some of my money back, and I've got an Audi R8 Mark 1 headlight from. That's on for 1,250. So I was like, Aston Martin DB9, that's on for £1,000. Yeah. And I was like, when you tally it all, I've added it all up. I'd done all my maths like before I bought it, and I was like, yeah, there's some money's worth there, definitely, if I can get for the right money. And he was like, he was just gobsmacked. He was like, surely not. I was like, yeah.
So you paid, how much did you pay in the end for 1,300 quid for the 4 headlights?
There's 4 headlights, and then I got carried away, to be fair, because I bought the 4, and it was a bit sneaky really, but what I did, there was a coupon code, but I think you could only use it so many times. Yeah. So I used it on 4 headlights that I found, and then there was 2 more that I found. It was a Mercedes one, and what was the other one? I think it was a BMW one of some sort. I can't remember what it was now. I tried to put the coupon code in, and he wouldn't accept it. It was like, it's invalid. And I was like, I wonder if we've used it. Like, there's a max limit you can use it on. So when I'm my old private account, I don't use anymore, and just still pay my business account. So I pay my business PayPal, stuck my 15% coupon on, and it worked. So I ordered 2 from my personal. And ended up saving 65% rather than 50. Like 50% was still good, but you're still paying 300 quid per headlight, which is still strong money. But then, like, by the time I chopped them 15% off, I was like, it worked out like even cheaper. But The first 4 that I bought was 1,300 quid, and then I've sold the Golf for 600.
How much do you think you'll get out of them all? Like when you did your maths, like how much do they all add up to?
Well, quick maths, I did like the Golf for 600. I got a Mercedes CLA, got that for 600. Aston Martin £1,000, the R8 for 1250. So it's probably, is it about $3,000 worth?
Yeah, so three grand, just over $3,000.
Yeah, about 3-2. But then again, depending if people collect and stuff, I'm happy to do deals and stuff like that, like and whatever, like bank transfers, save eBay fee, etc. But I was like, 1,300 quid, I can't lose money on this. Unless they all arrive back. I ain't losing money on this. There's just no way. As long as they're advertised correct and decent pictures again.
It's crazy though, isn't it? Like £2,000 from literally just going on a website and just buying a couple of headlights and just knowing what they're actually worth, and then just flipping them back on eBay or people coming to collect them in person from you, and you're just making £2,000 profit like that.
Yeah, it's mad.
It is crazy, isn't it?
It's just like with the Aston Martin one, I didn't even look what they're fetching because it was 300 quid. I was like, there's no way you're getting a DB9 for 300 quid. So I didn't even look what they was fetching. I just went, that's going in my basket. Stuck that straight in the basket.
On the front of buying these left hand, the left hand and the right hand drive headlights and stuff. Like, how do you know? For example, let's say you was going to go and source some headlights right now.
Yeah.
How do you avoid them ones?
The left hand drives.
Yeah. Like, would you? Do you know what I mean? Like, could you get stung with buying them if you didn't really know what you were looking out for?
You can do. It all depends if say if you're buying it from a trader, for instance. It all depends on if they've advertised it correct. Because some people. Yeah, you've got to be careful with some people. They'll just advertise it as I don't know, a Vauxhall Grandland X headlight, whatever. But then if it is left-hand drive, they should put LH or something in the title, for left-hand or whatever. But sometimes they don't. But then, say if it's something that looks cheap, and then you look at the part number sticker, for instance, sometimes it'll have on there EU or LH, rather than obviously UK, it'll have RH, UK stamps on it. Yeah. So if you see anything like that, it's worth just they're clearly left-hand drive. Maybe the sellers just forgot to advertise it in that way, but you don't see a lot of them on the eBay UK anyway. Again, it's more just of when people, like we said, when people move abroad
and they're
just selling the headlights just to get the correct beam pattern where they're moving to.
Yeah.
So you don't get stung on them that much, in all fairness, to be fair.
And I suppose the ones that are probably of the ones that you buy, let's say.
Yeah.
Are they usually listed badly? Is that because obviously I'm assuming that's kind of what drives the price down, and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just kind of popping them on.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, to be honest, like the course I mentioned, poor pictures, poor advertising on the title. There was one the other day. It literally said BMW headlight, and I was like, and it was a nice headlight, but I actually clicked on it. It was knackered, the lens was scrapped. But I was like, it still got me to look because I was like, there's no mention of model. I know which one it was. There was no mention of model, no part numbers, nothing. It was it's a BMW headlight, but then, like the course I explained, once you've done it for so long, you'll look at the picture and oh yeah, that's a BMW 1 Series F40, whatever it is. And
you just get to know the.
Yeah,
things.
You'll just know after doing it over a certain period of time, you'll just know. That's worth looking at. But again, if it's someone who works in a body shop and they've literally, again, took it out the bin or something daft, thinking, I'll just chuck this on eBay and get anything for it, a bit of a drink money or something, and then you can crop on it and think, all right, I know what that is. Obviously, the guy doesn't know a great deal about it. He might just have a BMW stamp on the corner of the lens or the sticker, and they'll just put on there it's a BMW headlight. Some of the descriptions might just say it's BMW headlight, not short model. Bite it around wrist sort of thing. But then if you can look at it and think, yeah, I know what that is, do a copy and paste on another tab on another eBay page and then check your listings and then think, yeah, there's some profit there. And I'm always cheeky with people like that in a sense because you got to think if it is something they've had for free, they'll kind of take anything to a degree. They won't be greedy. A lot of them won't. They'll just say, you know what, it's free money. Just gives X amount of pounds, and I'm thinking, happy days, I've got a right deal here, and then just...
Do you reckon most of the ones you buy, they got for free, the people who are selling them?
Yeah, more likely.
Definitely, just out of bins and stuff. I used to have a friend who used to work at Mercedes, and he used to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Every single day, they're just throwing so much stuff, and he used to work in parts, throwing so much stuff in the bin. They would literally be throwing A45, brand spanking rims, right in the bin. Just literally, it's mad at it.
Yeah, we know a couple of guys who work at Jaguar Land Rover garages, and they're the same, but they must obviously recycle all theirs because they've said we've put an interest out to say if you ever wanted to sell them, we'd happily pay, but there's got some form of contract recycling thing in place, so it's they can't go back for sale on
Yeah.
the second-hand market. They've got to be scrapped. And he's like, mate, they're literally
Mad.
chucking virtually brand new headlights away with little marks on. If they get delivered off like delivery wagons, and they might have a slight mark on where someone's took it off the car and like hit another car in the car park or something, it's like, oh, it's just nicked the headlight, we'll chuck a new one in. But that goes in the bin, and it's just like, man, you're chucking away like hundreds of quid's worth of headlight there easily.
How much does like a Range Rover like sport headlight go for? Like a 2018 one?
2018. Probably, I mean, easily 500 quid.
Yeah.
For a good one, yeah, easily probably 500-600 quid.
How much do you reckon it is like to buy from Range Rover? So I'll put you on the spot.
Couple of grand, yeah.
Couple of grand, you reckon?
Yeah.
Mad.
1,500 quid or £2,000, but then you got VAT as well. So if you ain't VAT registered, you're paying well over the odds. That obviously, if you're a business, you get it back, but private sell, if you ring your local JLR up and say, I want an headlight for Range Rover Sport, you best be sat down and when
ready.
When they give you the price, like,
put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I mean, like, funny this week, I sold a Peugeot 3008 headlight.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 2017 to 2020, so nothing special.
Your car though.
Yeah, not bad car. Full LED headlight though, so all the balls built in. Sold one this week for 150 quid. Had it out the bin because there was a lug missing off it. The guy picked it up and he's like, mate, do you know how much these are from Peugeot? I was like, I don't know, probably a few hundred quid. 1,600 quid.
Mad, man.
Yeah, and I was like,
mad.
so you've had an absolute steal, 150 quid then. Like one bracket missing.
Yeah.
Like, and he said, mate, I literally chopped the old one off my old headlight because the headlight was smashed on his one, the lens was gone.
Yeah.
He's like, I literally cut my old one off this one, weld it or glue it, I'll do something with it.
Yeah,
because I ain't paying 1,600 quid for
Mental,
Peugeot.
man.
Like for an headlight, it's crazy.
But it's
for a Peugeot
crazy
as well.
how expensive new headlights are, isn't it?
Yeah. People just think because it's a Peugeot, I think, oh, it's a run-of-the-mill car.
Yeah.
But as soon as you realise it's a full LED technology headlight, and then you look into it, like, it's like $2,000 worth of headlight each side. Four grand worth of headlight essentially for a pair.
So you said on that one, you got it out of bin, so you got it for free.
Yeah.
And you said there's a lug missing.
Yeah.
What's the lug like?
So the lug's like the one of the main fixing brackets that bolts it to the car basically.
Yeah, got ya.
But from memory, the headlight had it had 3 brackets on intact anyway. So you had the side bracket on and 2 underneath. So I was like, in theory, you could bolt it up with the 3 that's on there, and you'd probably get away with it. It'd probably be, obviously, if you put your hand on it and wobble it, it'd probably move a little bit, but you ain't going to fall out the car.
Yeah.
You've got 3 bolts holding it in, but obviously for his point, he was like, I can literally just cut mine off or send you to a garage and just say, can you literally do something with that bracket, cut it off, do anything to make it fit, and you'll pay him whatever because he's saving an absolute fortune.
Mate, literally, you think how much money he's got to play with now?
Yeah, rather than going to, he was like, I couldn't believe how much it was. He's like, I think he said it was a 68 Ridge Peugeot. And he's like, how is it like, $2,000 worth of headlight with a VAT? He's like, ridiculous. There's no way I'm paying that for an headlight. It's just crazy.
Literally.
Seen yours 150 quid, and he was like half an hour away from me. He's like, no, I'm coming down now. I'm coming down now for a while. I was like, yeah, no problem.
No problem, mate.
Well, I had it at the bin just purely because the bracket was gone. There was a couple of little scratches on the lens, but even he was like, mate, I'll buff them out. Like for the price you're charging me that, I'll happily have a go at buffing them out. And if there's a few little marks, at the end of the world.
So obviously, like, if you're a complete beginner to this, there are things you need to know. Like, you need to know, like, what's, like, devaluing the headlight significantly. Like, if the head, do you know what I mean? If the lens is completely fucked or whatever. Like, obviously the brackets and stuff. But that's obviously, like, why you've made this. Because anyone can do it. You just need to know all these little bits and bobs that, like, how a headlight works. Because the general person doesn't even know that headlight has brackets or anything. Or
no. People just think it's an headlight. It turns on when you start when you start outside or whatever. But it's, like I say, the course will cover all of this anyway. But it is like the little nitty gritty things that you might not realise that some headlights you can buy headlight repair kits for. You can actually buy the lugs from Peugeot itself, for instance. A lot of the time, the headlights will have like screw holes in the top where the bracket should fit.
Yeah.
If that's on there, a lot of the times, if you phone them up and just say, I've got a Peugeot headlight here, give them the part number and just say, do you sell the headlight bracket repair kit? You'll find that a lot of the modern cars now will say, oh yeah, we'll sell a kit for that. And all you've got to do, sometimes you might have to cut away a bit of the old bracket for it to sit and fit nicely. But it's a case of literally like getting a saw or something similar.
Yeah.
Or a belt sander. Get like a belt sander or something and just grind off what you need to.
But obviously the people who are buying the headlights from you, like if it's a body shop or whatever, they will easily do that. So so just quickly, as a little bit of like free advice, if, for example, that Peugeot one with the bracket battered on it, someone would still be willing to buy that because it's an easy fix for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, realistically, someone could have bought that from me to sell it on and make money from that.
Again.
Because it's just a case of like, if they can get a headlight repair kit from Peugeot for 20, 30 quid, I do it for 150. It's a case of literally they could put it back on eBay. If the 1,600 quid, that's easily worth 3,500 quid, all fixed, ready to go, and it'll probably sell quite quick as well. Because again, if a private individual's had an accident, they don't go for the insurance because again, how expensive everything is. They'll go straight on eBay. That's the first port of call. eBay or Facebook, but eBay always beats Facebook in that way. And it's a case of they'll go on. If they see yours on there, it's like 350 quid, all ready to go, bolt straight in the car. You're laughing. And so, in that sense, for me, because it doesn't owe me anything, I haven't got to be. I'm not a greedy person anyway, but like it's a case of I can afford to sell it cheaper.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit more profit in it for the next man. Who wants
so
to
there's so many different ways you can make money from it, but obviously like your main way of making money and the way you teach people is just by, going on eBay, sourcing them, or building up them relationships where you can get stuff for free. Yeah,
a lot of it's like you say, it's once you say maybe if you get into like if you find someone on eBay and then you find out they're like a body shop, private body shop or something, and they're having a big clear out, and a lot of those guys are the ones you want to get in with, because at least you can say, if you buy a couple of parts from them, you could always, what I always do with mine, I always message them and just say, look, I buy headlights, etc. Well, I buy any car parts. Anything you got for sale, just drop me a message. And I always just put my contact number, because then they get in touch with me direct. So you've got no fees and stuff to pay in that again for them. And obviously, it saves them paying their eBay fee as well. So it's a case of like you can pay PayPal, so you're still covered, but they're not paying the crazy eBay fees that they're paying. And it's a case of if you buy from them regular, you'll find then that they'll just get in contact with you. They'll just ring you or WhatsApp and say, mate, I've got a load of parts. Can I send you some pictures? And you're just like, fire them over. It don't mean you're going to buy them, but at least you've got that potential supplier who can be a regular contact. And you find like the guys who I deal with, they keep me stuff. And then like every week or so, they'll just like text me saying, I've got a load more stuff here, mate.
Just come have a look.
Come and have a look if they're local. Or if they're like passing, they'll just bring it in the van. And they'll just literally drop it off on my yard. And like, I've got all this stuff, what can you give for it? And it's like, I'll give you X amount.
Literally.
And it's all, it's free money again for them essentially, because it's all insurance work that's been paid for by insurance anyway. So it's like, it's free money. Like, and it's too good. In this day and age, where expensive parts are, they're too good to throw away. You'd be stupid to throw them away, like literally.
100%. And you think about it, I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, it's just crazy because the amount of people that just like getting like quick little crashes, they do a headlight in or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people probably every single day.
Oh God, yeah. It's like,
so there's so much stuff in flow, isn't there? So much happening that the economy for that is just booming.
You think like at the end of the day, if you crash your car, you think, what's the first thing that's going to go? 9 times out of 10 it's going to be your headlight or your bumper, depending on what way you turn or some ideas, you know what I mean? So it's like, always thinking that way. If you end up crashing, you 9 times out of 10 your headlight's going to go, and then it's like, right, I'm on. Again, if it's something cheap and the insurance is affordable, the excess is affordable, whatever, you'll just think, I'll just bang it for insurance, they can sort it all for me. But a lot of the time, if the headlights are LED, and then they ring up and realise how much they are from a main dealer, I think it like worries a lot of people. If you I didn't realise it was that expensive, like that Peugeot one, 1,600 quid. Now I'm paying,
literally,
now I'm paying $4,000 for a pair of headlights. I'm straight on the second-hand market. Getting some use.
Literally, you know what I mean? It's someone's like monthly wage, man, or more, just to like for getting in a quick little nick. And if you claim on your insurance or whatever, then your insurance is going up and you have to pay for that for 5 years or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like an endless cycle, isn't it? Really. You would rather pay to get it fixed, probably.
Oh, definitely. And it's all like the people who, obviously, I think Salvage has come along the years as well, like Copart, cars. All the YouTubers and that are doing it at the moment as well. I think they've had a big influence on the amount of people who
doing up cars and stuff.
Yeah, the amount of people who buy parts from us. I know always ask saying where have you had the cars from? We don't mind asking Copart. Always the same thing, Copart or a private salving auction. But 99% of the time it's Copart. It's like, it's a Copart branch in so and so.
So what is Copart?
Copart's just like a big. it's basically like a big salvage market where all the cars go that have accidents. That, you know, if the insurance write the cars off, if it's like, if they claim it as, oh, this car's not worth repairing because the parts outweigh the value of the car, they just go to a local Copart compound as such, sit in a compound, and then they go for auction. They just go for auction online, and then traders can buy them, personal people can buy them. You have to have a membership to bid, like, so. But you can still scroll, have a look through without a membership. But I think that's a big influence in cars at the moment, where some of the second-hand cars are still strong money. And it's the case if you can get one from Copart, and then, you know, like, sometimes buying stuff online, the pictures don't always tell the true story. But again, that's the risk you take sometimes. And you think, even if you're still saving a few quid, but the car arrives and you might think, God, I didn't realise that was broke, or that was broke. We start taking bits off the car and you think, God, I didn't realise that was gone. It still can work out a cheaper alternative. And then when it's all fixed up and ready to go, you've got like a 50 grand car, and it owes you sort of like 25 grand or something. Literally. It might be like registered Cat A and Cat S or whatever. And if you decide to keep the car, there's no issue.
100%. And it's like Matt Armstrong has like boomed this like side hustle, because going on YouTube and fixing all his cars up, like buying these like salvage cars and, you know, doing millions and millions and millions of views. So many people now are going out and doing the exact same thing, getting their own cars, and they all need these parts. They're all buying second-hand parts and whatever. Tino, who works for us at CCN, he did the exact same thing. His Audi TT, his was an exterior write-off, so it wasn't like structural damage. Bought his TT for well under market value, bought all the parts for eBay, fixed it himself.
Exactly.
And do you know what I mean? And inspired by like Matt Armstrong to do that, and like documented it and stuff.
It's one of them, like, we all know Matt Armstrong. I'm a follower of him anyway, but I've watched him from the days where, what was the video? ADS5, the one that blew up on the papers and all that, like, where he's fixing on his drive. I watched it from then. I was like, this is a kid who knows nothing about cars in that way, and he's just literally learning on the job. Like, he's got no previous experience, and now look at him, he's like repairing GT3 RSs and all sorts of stuff over the years. So it proves that you can do it with a bit of trial and error,
100%.
even if you're not in the salvage market. Like,
and and it applies to that side hustle that you're teaching. You're teaching people like about you and your dad have so much experience like in the car part space, like you know, years and years and years, and you're passing that knowledge to other people so they can make, you know, whether it's 500, 1,000, 1,500 pounds like profit per month from just buying a few parts online, knowing what to look out for, and then reselling them on it. And it's a good way to get into that car if you're thinking about like, you know, fixing a salvage car as well. It's a good way to kind of like learn about that. And if you're into cars, what other like perfect side hustle is there like this that's so involved with it all?
Yeah, it's a good way again with the salvage market, as in like, again, if you get into the parts and then like, say if you want to buy yourself a new car or an upgrade, you think I don't want to spend X amount on a straight second-hand car, why don't I just try for the parts? I'm finding cheap headlights and stuff on eBay. Maybe I can find the cheap bumpers for sale, the wings for sale, the bonnets or whatever it is, and I think that's where that could develop as well, where people just like start doing the course and then all of a sudden think, you know what, I'm actually going to go and buy my first salvage car from Copart. I'm going to give it a whirl. I can get headlights cheap now, and now my course provides the information how to do it, what to look for. It's a case of like just finding the other parts, which again is similar to headlights as such, really. As long as you know what you're looking for and you don't, and you get it for a good price, there's definitely.
And it's like the things that the course teaches as well. It's like I've watched like pretty much all of your course. It's like it's all the little bits and stuff in there about like how to match up all the part numbers, check everything. You know, check everything's right. Like you could go on there, end up with the wrong parts, and you know, making sure that you're buying the right things, what to look out for, like the clips being broken and whatever. And it's all them basic skills that, like, you know what I mean, it builds you up to that point.
Exactly.
And it's like you said as well, like you don't just do headlights, you do.
Yeah, everything. We do everything. We do, like you say, we do the bumpers and the wing mirrors, even like mirror caps. The tyre sensor, the tyre pressure sensor, you know what I mean? When you got a puncture and that, we sell new ones of them. Anything really. So yeah, it's like, we started from nothing as such. My dad's been in the trade, but again, me starting from it, I've had no experience from it. I had no clue about cars or anything. Then fast forward to now, it's like, I know exactly what parts to look for, parts to avoid and stuff.
How long do you think you've actually been in the car parts business for?
Like you say, I've done it since I was about 18. I think I was probably doing the parts probably when I was about 20, 21, when we actually started doing the parts. And then I was actually buying odd parts on eBay myself and selling a few little bits and bobs on eBay for a bit of a side hustle, so to speak. So I was still earning money doing the bumper sales and stuff with my dad. And then I was just like buying odd bits and bobs on eBay, like I mentioned, travel all over the place and stuff before, just to make a little bit of money. But I quite enjoyed it. I like driving anyway, so I don't mind getting in the car, having a bit of a trip out. As long as the parts are described and they're cheap, I just know that, there's money in there. I'm going to pay a bit of petrol, but there's definitely profit in there. I can sell it on. And then, just keep reinvesting.
What's your second favourite part after like the headlight? I know the headlights are the fastest and the most profitable ones, but what's like next after that? If you were, so you're into the headlights, you want to do something else as well on the side, like what else would you go for?
I'd probably have to say, probably wheels, alloy wheels.
There's
some mega money in wheels. Like not even sets, just like single ones. Like there's some mega money in like the AMG Mert wheels and M Sport BMs. The only thing with buying them on eBay is that you don't know if you're actually buying a wheel that's been checked properly, as in to make sure it's got no buckles, cracks.
Yes.
The amount of people that have bought wheels from me and said, "Oh, I've come to your place because you've mentioned that you've had it checked on the machine. I've got a guy who does our wheel repairs for us, but he's got a proper machine, spins them all up."
So you can balance them.
A lot of people on eBay, if they get wheels from a body shop and from the outside, it's just got a couple of like curbing marks, that'll be saying that will. And then like they receive it, and then the guy goes to balance it, and it's like, mate, this wheel's just doing this, buckled to out, and it's like, I've bought a dodgy wheel. But then, if it's a private individual, they can decline the return. It can be a real headache to try and get your money back. So it's like with us, that's the only thing I'd be weary. I would start doing wheels for eBay myself, but that's the only thing that always puts me off is the case of buying second-hand wheels. It's a risk. It is a risk, and if you're paying decent money for them as well. Because at the end of the day, people know with wheels, you can weigh them in for, obviously...
Like metal price?
Yeah. Like I was watching a video, some Salvage company, guys that I watch on YouTube, they weighed some wheels in, and they've got £22 each for a scrap wheel. Yeah, and I was like, see, you're not going to get wheels dirt cheap, because I'll just go to the local scrap yard and weigh them in. So like, you've got to pay fairly good money from on eBay, but then again, that's a risk of the come. And then if I took them to my guy and he spins them up on a machine, it's buckled, mate, that's another 40 quid to fix it. Or sometimes they're too badly buckled, the scrap.
Yeah, you're unfixable.
Like, I can't fix them. So it's like, right, okay, I'll either complain to the guy. If he's a legit guy, he'll have it back and I'll get refunded. If he's a guy who's just like, no, the advert says no, no returns, you've got a real ball out trying to get your money back.
100%.
Then you're weighing it in and you're getting, like say, peanut money, essentially. If it's a small wheel, again, obviously smaller wheels, you get less for. But I would go, if you can get a decent supply of wheels and you can get some form of guarantee that they have been checked before you buy them, there's some serious money in. Like,
you sent me that video the other day, didn't you, of them? You bought like 4 or 5 wheels? Do you remember? There's a BM wheel on. What was they? Do you remember what they were?
Yeah, so there was a couple of... There was a couple of maybe Hindy wheels or something, nothing special. But the ones that I've still got them now, the BMW M5 M8 competition rims for front and rear, like 20-inch wheels, nice looking rims, like really, really smart. And like they've just been changed for just your normal everyday curbing that you might see. Yeah. But we bought them in, had them spun up.
How much did you buy them for?
They owe us... I think they asked about like 80 quid for the pair.
M5 M8 wheels? 80 quid for a pair?
Yeah, literally.
What?
Because it's like, the supplier we get them from, I'll be honest, they're not that fussed about money side of things. Yeah. It's a case of, I either weigh it in, or a lot of the time, they're sitting the scrap outside and they just gather dust, and it makes the body shop look a bit of a mess. Yeah. They like it looking nice, presentable when people come for quotes and stuff like that on the cars. They don't want to pull up and then like in the corner of the yard there's just like scrap everywhere, just like rubbish everywhere. So he's not fussed about the money side of things, but it's like, for that price you just buy him in anyway. And we'd obviously pay, if he had him aside and said, mate, these are like 1,000 quid each from BM, you can't have these for like 40 quid each, so I'm going to have to charge even 100 quid a wheel. I'd have paid it. I'm like, no, it's 200 quid for 2, no probs. So you'll easily,
you'll easily flip them all day.
Yeah, definitely. When you go on eBay and see what they're fetching, it's like, you'd pay.
How much are they fetching on eBay?
I think some refurred ones fetched about 500 quid each. So like diamond cut ones.
40 quid to 500 quid. And obviously yours, because they had, like you said, they had the like curbing marks. Yeah, so what will you do with them? Will you just sell them with the curb marks?
Sell them as they are, like...
No, bother with them.
Nah, we've like... We've done it before where we've got a couple of wheel companies that we use who are local to us who do good jobs on the re-diamond cutting and the powder coating and stuff. But I just think then it's like, by the time you've paid X amount to have a diamond cut done, you've got 2 diamond cuts that owe you on top of what you paid for the wheels, and then you do need to ask top money for them then. So, but then it's like, for me, I'd like, sometimes we sold wheels before where we've had people say complain, but they've sort of said like, I'm not quite happy with the finish.
Yep.
Like it might have come out with a few little imperfection marks, and if they're still paying you top money, they can say, mate, I've paid you like 500 quid each for these wheels, but the finish has come out a bit rough. I'm not happy. I reckon my guys local could have done the same job. And then you end up either offering them a full refund, which is a ball ache, or offering them a partial refund just to try and keep the customer happy. But then you think, well, the refund that I'm offering is basically what I've paid to have a diamond cut. So what's the point? I'd rather like, and a lot of times as well with that, people like to see what they're buying. They like to see the wheel as it's come off, like in that condition.
Got you.
Rather than if you're like, I've heard stories before, people get wheels welded, they'll get them refurbed.
Why would you get them welded? If they're cracked?
So, yeah, so if you go like a pothole or something, the crack on the inside, obviously there's people out there who weld them. I think you can only weld them 2 or 3 times, and then it's a case of
the wheels. Just
you weld them 2 or 3 times, and it's just fucked basically. Like, you've got to just go out and get a second-hand wheel that's had no previous repairs. But if you go out and buy a wheel that's been refurbed, you wouldn't know it's been welded because it's all painted inside.
Yeah, got you.
You've got no clue. No clue. So it's like someone could say, "Oh yeah, mate, it's all saying that. It's just had a few curb marks.
Yeah.
Refurbed, it's ready to go." There could be a massive weld that's been repaired on the inside. You never know. So you just take their word for it. And then if it cracks again, it's like, how's this wheel cracked? And then like obviously if it does crack, you'll realise this has been done before, but the seller hasn't told me. Because it's been refurbed, I can avoid it.
So you feel like just selling them as they are, like unrefurbed people, you know what I mean? But obviously though, if they're unrefurbed, then people are like, well, this is just, you know what I mean? This is exactly what I'm getting. I'm just getting
I think
this wheel is
like the honesty. There was like the honesty. They get them obviously cheaper as well. And then a lot of people would rather use like their local providers anyway. So like if they've had wheels in the past, they'll just say, oh, I've got, you know, a local guy who's diamond cut by me.
How much does it cost to get a wheel diamond cut?
I mean, our guy does us a favour, to be honest. We get a few done here and there. It's about 85 quid a rim, which is cheap. Like someone else probably say that 85 quid, no way. But like down south, you're looking, I don't know, 120 quid a rim. Easy, definitely. But about 85 quid-ish. And they come out all right, to be honest. But again, like from experience, I wouldn't get them done unless if someone specifically asked me to say,
will you get them done for me?
Will you get them done for me? And if I sort of had a bit of a clarification to say, I'll get them done, but I don't want any comebacks on them as such. Like you've got to expect there might be the odd little imperfection. That's just how it comes out sometimes. But again, if the price fairly, people can't really grumble because I dread to think like the M5, M8 competition wheels. I'd have no idea what they are from BMW, but stupid, mega expensive. Probably 1,500 quid a rim, easily. Like 2021s, I think they are. Yeah, easily. What? How much is an M5 competition, M8 competition? I'd dread to think mega money.
Expensive, mate. Definitely expensive.
You're talking easy, you know, 1,500 quid a rim, £2,000.
Yeah, 100%. So with the headlights, would you say that like you can do this from home? Like, do you know what I mean? Can you do it from home? Yeah,
definitely. It's like, obviously we've got a unit where all our parts are stored, obviously, because we've got thousands of stuff like for sale, but yeah, you could do it literally from your garage, to be honest. Yeah, garage or even your loft or something.
Yeah, literally living room, spare room or
something. Yeah, literally you could, if you got like an office job where you work from home, like you know, in your spare room or whatever. Yeah, you could easily, like, you know, in your lunch break, just have a look, open up eBay, follow the course instructions, have a little look online, and then if you're unsure, obviously with the Discord channel we've got, just post it in there, just post it on like to buy or not to buy on there, and then like I can get back to you and just give you my personal opinion. Say, yeah, if it was me, I'd buy it. If it's not for me, I say no, just avoid it, and I'll explain why. If it is a no, I won't say no, don't buy it. I'll go into detail like why you shouldn't buy it, and then at least going forward, that can obviously help other people learn. Like, oh, I forgot that bit there, or that bit's missing there. So, but yeah, you could easily do it like definitely from home. That's a good thing with it, realistically. You could, you know, if you worked on a building site, it sounds daft, in your lunch break or something, you could literally have a look on eBay on your phone and buy something online and then, like, get it delivered to your house or something. or even your workplace, if your bosses are
Literally,
already like delivered there or whatever, chuck it in your car, take it home, clean it up, get some good pictures, and then whack it on, and then
And what do you think like other like requirements are other than that? Like, how much money do you need to start? Do you need any tools or anything?
To be fair, like you don't need any tools as such. Again, if people are into cars anyway, if you do cleaning your cars, like any form of tea-cut or some form of decent like car polish, a set of rags, a set of polishing rags, and then probably, I don't know, like if you're going to the nitty-gritty, if you're doing up buying the headlight repair kits further down the line, you might need some form of like belt sander or something to grind away the existing bracket that's still half there, and then a case of just screwing the new ones on. So,
but if you're just a beginner, you don't need any of that.
No, definitely not. Start price, literally, you could start with literally 300 quid, 250, 300 quid. If you drop on the right headlight, you could literally, what was the one I bought before? I've done a TikTok on it ages ago. I bought the Ford Transits, I don't know if I mentioned. Ford Transit headlights, LED ones, and you think, Ford Transit with LED headlights? But then you look into it, it's like the very latest Transit, but they're the top spec, full LED, really nice looking light for a van, to be fair, really nice. And I found them on eBay for one was 150 quid, the other side was 120 quid. I don't know whether, actually one had a lug missing, so it was 30 quid cheaper. They even bought, I had an offer tab on as well. I was like, there's no way I'm offering the cheap already, man. So I bought them straight away, and I flipped them for 1,075 quid for the pair.
What? So what's that, like 270 quid or something? 250, 270 quid?
Yes.
Into 1,000 quid?
And
one
they
flip?
sold rapid. Some guy in London, like, bought them. Yeah.
Because
he's
mad.
Like, they're so hard to find, but that was just a case of maybe right place, right time. I think if I hadn't bought them, someone else definitely would have copped them as well and done. There's people out there who probably do what I do as well, obviously, but that's just for instance, like you could have bought one of them. If you only had a couple hundred quid to start with, just buy one of them. You'd easily say 500 quid all day long.
Yeah, 100%.
And just because of how rare that particular light was, and you think, God, I've made like 300 quid off one headlight, and I'm up to 500 quid already.
Literally.
And then just, again, like I said, just reinvest it and
just keep building that capital.
Just keep building it, yeah. And you haven't got to, if you've got money to spend, obviously you could buy 2, 3, 4 headlights. But if you're like obviously very new into it and you've got no clue what to do, then I'd advise like, 250 quid and just buy something cheap. Just buy something cheap to start with, like the course will explain. And even just like buying something that's popular. If you can get LEDs then obviously that's where the money is, like I mentioned. But even some of the halogen headlights, like you can get cheap auction ones. You can get cheap auction ones that fetch like peanut money as such, really. I think I bought a mini one off a bloke before. I can't remember what he said he changed it for now. Changed it with something. Might be something to do with left-hand drive, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but there was no mention of it being an LED headlight. And I looked at the picture and I could tell, again, just all about pictures, you can tell. I was like, LED headlight, that is sound. Clicked on it. The ballast is on there. I was like, yeah, here we go.
What's the ballast?
So the ballast is like the control unit.
Got you.
That powers the LED bulb, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a power pack, so to speak. So that was all plugged on. I was like, yeah, it's a complete unit with all the bits on. So someone could plug and play.
Yeah, straight in.
Straight in. And it was on an auction for 50 quid. And I'm sure the bike now price was 120 quid. I was like, I won't give 120 quid for it. I'll give 50 quid for it. Okay. Stuck in my watch list and I waited right to the last second, popped a bid in right at the end, bang, 50 quid, done. And I actually won it. And the guy never realised I won it.
Yeah.
It was about 3 days later and he messaged me saying, shit, I didn't realise it had sold. So I put it on an auction because I've had no interest.
Yeah.
Didn't realise it had sold. And he was like, I didn't even check my eBay, so like just presumed it had sold. He said, well, obviously you've come in super last minute and bought it. But that was an instance and that fetched 230 quid, that did.
Mad.
Took about a month to sell, took a little bit long to sell, but
when you're 50 quid into stuff.
Yeah, if you can afford to sit 50 quid, that's what I say to people as well, is like, don't be freaked out if it doesn't sell within a week. Like I've got headlights now that I bought for months ago. And I'm like, because they're so cheap, I'm like, I'll just hold out to them. I'll hold out to them. And if someone sends me a cheeky offer, and I know how much it owes me, I think, yeah, go on, I'll do it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Other than that, like, I've got the space to store them. I'll try and ask what I want for them, sort of thing. But obviously, to get yourself going, if you're happy with just doubling your money again.
And just like fast movers as well.
Yeah,
like,
fast sellers.
You know, common cars like you said, LED ones and stuff.
Yeah, anything like I don't know, like anything. If you can get LED related, like you say, I don't know, BM3 series. Like another example, the other day I went to a body shop last week. Bought a load of new old stock from them, like new parts that they couldn't send back. But there was like headlights in there, all sorts of stuff in there. And then as I was loading the van, I just got in the van, I was about to go, and a lad brought out, like one of the strippers stripping the cars down. He brought out a 3 Series BMW headlight in his hand, and I thought, that's a Zen.
Oh, God.
So I was like,
just instantly spotted it.
Yeah, spotted. So I was like, I kept an eye on it, and then I was like, and then he chucked it in the bin. I was parked right behind the bin.
Yeah.
So he walked straight from my van and placed it in the bin. Dave and chuck it, he literally placed it in the bin.
And popped it in.
Off, and I was like, from the outside, it looked okay. The lens looked fine. There's no, like, couldn't see any cracks or anything. I thought, it's all right. So I got out of the van, and even my dad was like behind me. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'll be 1 sec. I went to the bin, pulled it out. Fair play, the lens was mint, but I think all the brackets are gone, bar from one.
Yeah.
But I was like, still a Zen LED light, like the 2013 to 16, that people know which one I'm on about, the F30 shape. I was like, yeah, someone will still buy this. I had it, obviously, if it's in the bin, it's free. So, whacked it on eBay, 120 quid. Some guy in Ireland bought it about 3 days later. Yeah, stuck it straight on eBay. And he was
straight
like,
out.
Can you post to Dublin? And I was like, if you use the global shipping program on eBay, it should allow you to order it. And about 10 minutes later, bang, and he's like, yeah, ordered it, mate, nice one. I was like, it's literally free money, straight away. And I was like, even stuff like, you know, someone could have pulled that headlight out the bin, took it home to sell it, and even if they'd have got 30, 40 quid for it, you could have, again, bought it for that, and then, like I've just done, flipped it for 120 quid.
100%.
Even take your fees off, you're still making 50, 60
quid
100%. For nothing.
It's good ROI, it's high ROI for the money you invest. Everything's low cost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is good for people if you haven't got a lot of money as well, do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean, it's not a costly thing to start with. You haven't got to have thousands to start or whatever. Literally, obviously the more the better. Obviously, if you've got a savings pot you can afford to dip into, great. But obviously, if you haven't, it's a case if you pay the course money, and even if you just start with a couple of £100, 250 quid, it's like you can easily like buy a few bits.
In 1 month, you would literally, like you said, like a couple of headlight flips will make you money back. Yeah,
it's easy. Like you say, it's just for the price that it is for like lifetime membership. It's just like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like I could charge a lot more for what it is, and people would still probably pay it, but I just think I'm not a greedy guy, man. I'd rather I'm here to help people out. I'm making good money through work anyway, but if I can help other people out, and you know, I think it's people like who come out of school, a sixth form, a college, and they still don't quite know what they want to do for a job. But while they're actually doing the studying, it's like, well, is there any way I can do, like CCN, I suppose, is there anything I can buy to sell to make a few quid? This would be the ideal thing just to try. And then you never know, if you got into it and got really stuck into it, it could be a case of, I want to go down the automotive route, I want to stick in the trade, and then you could do what I do. In a few years' time, you could open a business similar to mine and selling headlights, and then it could vary on to all sorts of stuff.
100%. And what we'll do is we're going to host a webinar, so we'll pop in like a link below this like podcast on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, where you can just register for the webinar, and you're going to do some like free training and whatever, and you're going to give everyone a quick rundown. You're going to explain how you can get involved with this. Just like it's completely free. You can just show up and just listen in and tune in and see what it's all saying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you say, I think in this day and age, everything's getting tougher. Taxes are always expensive. Do you know what I mean? We all, just countries of jokes. Countries of jokes sometimes.
At least there's headlights in this world.
That's all, but this is another avenue, like with CCN and FBA and all that. There's so many methods out there now to earn extra cash that like people might not even realise. Some people are, I think, stuck in the 9-to-5 jobs. They're just stuck on that 9-to-5 wage, and like I'm getting paid this much a month. Whereas I'm not like that. I like sort of get my wage, but I'm like, if I can make a few quid extra.
Yeah, just doing deals and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'm all for that. Like, yeah, definitely.
Are you got any like crazy stories, like of things that like have happened like in the car park, like flipping, mad interactions with people, mad flips or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, like the best one I probably got whether people believe it or not, Matt Armstrong bought an headlight off me.
Mad. What?
I ain't making this up. This is like God's honest truth. This was when he was doing his green Golf R, 7.5 Golf R he did, the one he wrapped. I think.
Yeah.
I always remember the YouTube video. If anyone follows Matt Armstrong, if you look at a lot of his videos, he always says, I have a right ball out of headlights. A load of his videos say, I hate headlights, always end up buying the wrong ones, etc. Yeah. And then he bought mine. I thought he might give me a little plug, but he did. I remember he said, I bought his headlight off eBay, and I looked on there, I was like, that was the one he bought off me. And when his name come up on eBay, got his...
So what happened? You was just chilling there one day?
Yeah, literally, we was on our eBay, and a sale come through. I was like, oh, Golf R. And I'm sure he paid 350 quid, which is dirt cheap now. You won't get a Golf R headlight for that money, that price now. But back in, a few years ago when he was doing the Golf R, the green one, and I was like, I looked at the name, I was like, Matt Armstrong. I was like, nah, it can't be the Matt Armstrong. So I went on his YouTube channel, and he was rebuilding this Golf, and I was like, yeah, front end damage. And I was like, you just put 7.5 Golf, that's what they call it. I was like, that must be the one for the green one. And I actually, like, a bit of fanboy, man. I was like, is this the actual... He was like, yeah.
Did you message him?
Yeah, I messaged him.
Mad, man.
I told my dad, and he was like, my dad's not into you. And he was like, who is it? I was like, he's a big time up and come out YouTuber. I like doing, like, fixing cars and that. And I was like, I've got to message you. I know it's a bit cringe, but I've got to message you, man. And then he actually replied. Yeah, he replied. But, yeah, I'm natural. And I was like, mate, your videos are, like, class. So I'm a big subscriber on that, like. And he did put back, I appreciate it, like. And I just remember seeing his name, he's Leicester born, as we all know, and I was like, it's him, it's got to be him. There's only one Matt Armstrong in Leicester that I know, like, and I was like, no way, like, the actual...
What a chance,
the actual guy, I couldn't believe it. Paid full money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, straight in.
Yeah,
no haggling.
No messing, no haggling. Just pay what I wanted for it. I was like, I need people like him all the time.
Do you remember how much you'd paid for it?
I think it was 350 quid.
How much you paid for the
Golf?
headlight? Yeah. Like how much you bought that headlight for?
Headlight for. I'll be honest, I can't remember, to be honest. It might have come with maybe a job lot of stuff from a garage potentially. Because we get garages that keep parts for us, and they might like phone us and say, there's a decent van load of stuff here if you want to come down and have a look. So from what I recall, I don't think it was an eBay flip. I don't think I bought it on eBay and then resold it on eBay. I think it was a direct supplier we probably had it from. But yeah, that was mad when that happened. He ain't bought off me since, to be fair, but he's doing all these like...
Come on, Matt, buy off Ryan again.
And all that. Like, I ain't quite there yet.
Yeah. What's your biggest profit on one headlight?
Gee whiz. God, where do I start with that?
There's been a few big ones.
Yeah, there's been... what did I sell the other day? I sold 2 weeks ago, Aston Martin DB11 headlight. I bought a pair on eBay. Again, this is another guy found on there. I was buying loads of Tesla parts off him. Yeah. And then, like, he said, I've got some really high-end stuff coming through. Would you be interested? And I was like, what do you mean by high-end? He was going to say a lot of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I'd probably say, I don't know, man, because like, they sound good, but to try and resell... Slow. They're hard work, man. Yeah, they're just slow sellers. I'd rather try and sell them to... There's a couple of guys who specialise in selling the high-end stuff. I'd rather just palm it off to them, make a few quid, and they can sell it for good money. But I bought them for 500 quid for a pair of Aston Martin DB11 headlights, which is peanut money, dirt cheap. And he's like, mate, I'm going to chuck in a Tesla Model 3 backlight as well. Right.
Oh, man.
And I think there was a boot light for a Tesla Model 3 as well. So the inner boot light and the outer light for the car. You can have them as well. I've got 500 quid, I'll just chuck them in as well. I was like, sound?
Deal.
Deal. So I paid him, and then I sold one the other week for £1,000 on its own.
The Aston Martin one?
Yeah, cash as well.
Mad.
So £1,000. I've still got the one for sale.
Yeah?
For £1,000.
It's well up on it.
Yeah. And that was it. I sold the Model 3 backlight for 120 quid as well.
Yeah.
And he gave me that as part of the deal. Yeah.
Mad, man. Do you do a lot of backlights and stuff as well? Or do you kind of...
Yeah, we do backlights. I mean, like, obviously, with the backlights, the profit's not as high.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, like the course explained, the headlights are where the money's at. But, again, you can get into, obviously, other parts on the car, like the backlights and stuff like that. And Yeah, some of the backlights are, you know, like, I don't know, I've got a couple of, what I saw recently? I've got a Range Rover one at work. I think it's an L405 facelift. They're about 250 quid each. Yeah, 250 quid each for a backlight, which is like decent money.
Yeah.
If you can get them for the right money, they're quite good. But yeah, headlights are always the best. But again, like with it all, it's like how I've done with this Skylight I was buying, which I'm still buying occasionally off him now, the little tyre pressure sensors which I mentioned for Teslas, and they're all in boxes, brand new in boxes. These are never been fitted.
Does Tesla stuff sell really quite well?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, the bumpers and that are not that great. There's so many people that got Tesla bumpers at the minute. If you put in, like, for example, Tesla Model 3 front bumper, there'll be thousands on there. There's loads on there. But the other little bits, like the panels are good, like the bonnets are good, the wings are good, the boot lids. But then I got into these tyre sensors, and like, I think they're fetching 40 quid each at the minute on eBay that I'm selling them for. And I'll bet you I've sold about 50 of them now, easy. And they're all the same part numbers, and I just keep literally...
Just add them on like a quantity
add
listing.
Quantity on. Yeah. And then, well, that's where like I bought headlights from him. And then he said, obviously, you can see that you're a trader. Would you be interested in anything else? And he's like the tyre sensors. There's the Tesla Model 3 fog lights in the bumpers. Been buying them. They're all right. And then obviously I've had these Aston Martin.
How much do you buy the tyre sensors for?
They worked out at about a £5 each in the end.
Mad.
Because I bought that many of them.
Yeah, man, that's cheap. And they just fly out.
They sell every week. I'm still selling them now. Like, even they're good for, like, if people want a set of 4. Like, if people if people are upgrading the wheels, if they want bigger wheels on Teslas, say if they've got a small set, they want to upgrade to a big set, but the tyre sensors have been took out again because they can be quite expensive. It's a case of, I'll buy the wheels, I'll go on eBay, and then if you see someone like me who's got quantity 4, they'll just literally go on the checkout, I'll put 4 of them in.
Yeah, boom,
that's 160 quid worth of sensors, and I've paid, like, 20 quid for 4.
Mad.
Yeah, it's mad, really.
I bet they don't take up a lot of room either, but they're just dead. They're like, literally tiny.
They're about that big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, literally.
Mad.
You post them for, like, every next day is about £3.50 or something, or normal every for, like, just under £3. Yeah.
Any other big flips on? Any other big headlight flips?
Honestly, them transit ones mentioned were really
good.
They were really, like, mega.
Do you think is it common to make like £500 profit a flip, or like, do you know, 300 to 500? Like, is it? Do you know, when I say like a big flip, is it just that common that, like?
It can be, yeah. I mean, like the same guy about the Aston Martin headlights, he messaged me about this C-Class. It was a Mercedes C-Class. It was a W206, which is the very newest one at the minute. Still, they just started making it. It was LED headlight again, and he's like, mate, it's been changed. There's a little mark on the lens. He said, I'm telling you, it's tiny.
Yeah.
Showed me the pictures of it. I was like, yeah, how much do you want for it? As always, 150 quid you can have it for. I was like, okay, that's cheap. Went on eBay, 500-600 quid all day long. And then I actually put it on. I sold it for 600 quid, but then the guy actually returned it. Reckoned he'd ordered the wrong part. Luckily, it come back in one piece, all sweet. So I'm always a bit worried sometimes. If I get like a return, I always just hope that someone's made an effort to wrap it up well, so I can resell it for what I've sold it for.
100%.
The amount of headlights I've sold before, and like, it's a case of they don't really care in that way. They'll just chuck it back in the box with hardly any wrapping in. Like, where's the wrapping that I've sent you? Do you know what I mean? Then it comes, brackets bossed off and all sorts. Yeah. Like, mate, what am I meant to do with this now? Like, but yeah, anyway, that went, and then that sold. I think that sold for 400 quid, but he paid cash as well for that one. So, and that sold really quick.
For over 350 profit in it.
Yeah, and that sold really quick. I've been scammed a few times. Like
well, go on. So what? Any big? What happened with the scams? Any big scams? Any like mad interact? Anyone try prank bank on you?
I had a guy. What did he buy? An M4 headlight off me years ago. Still remember the guy. Still remember what it looks like. Yeah, but I don't know if he's been back since. But he bought an M4 headlight, like the F32 shape. People know what that is. Paid me on the car park, which is normal to me. Like, it happens, whatever. I think it was 250 quid back then. And my girlfriend at the time, I had a load of money on me at that time. I was like, I'll go and chuck it in the bank. This is what I did back in the day. I was like, I'll go and chuck it in the bank on Saturday morning. So, parked outside the bank, and then she was like, I'll just go and run it in for you. I was like, yeah, sweet. So she run in. And then I'll never forget it, where I looked and the shutter doors started coming down the bank, and I was like, what's going on? Like, they were shutting the branch, you know, the like metal security shut. They were coming down. I was like, sure, my missus stood in there. And then like she was in there, and I was waiting for about 10-15 minutes. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
What?
And then they come back up, and then she come out with a face on. I was like, what the fuck's happened here? She got in my car, and she's like, you know that money was fucking dodgy. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, fake money. I was like, nah, it can't be. I was like, have you got it back? He said, no, they won't give me back. I'm like, fuck, I've been shafted.
No, how much was it?
250
Yeah.
quid. Yeah, like, and I was like, that must have been that M4 headlight.
Oh my God,
because everything
man.
else didn't tally up to that price. I was like, it must have been that guy, man, must have been.
So what happened in that case? So was she putting in like a few grand or a few hundred? Was it more than 250 quid she was trying to put in?
Yeah, it might have been like over $1,000 worth.
Yeah.
But we had it in separate envelopes.
Yeah.
So we had it in separate envelopes, so we knew what part it was and how much it was for reference, like. And she said it was 250 quid, and I was like, that was the only part that day I sold for 250 quid.
What a cheeky fucker.
I know, and I was like, you wouldn't think it. The guy just looked like a normal guy, you know. They don't look anything untoward or anything like. Just seemed like a normal dude. Yeah, so he shafted me big time.
So what happened? Did they let you deposit the rest of the money, but just kept the 250?
Yeah, they kept the real. They obviously checked the rest of it. Banked the rest of it, but then they kept the fake stuff. But then they was questioning my partner where it had come from. Like, how have you got this fake money? And she was like, my partner literally sells parts. You know, obviously someone's come in and paid, and it's obviously dodgy money. And they were like,
was that the last you heard of it?
Yeah, didn't hear nothing from it. Yeah, it was not a case of obviously you give it them and you don't see it again, sort of thing.
I'm surprised you weren't losing your head though. Like she'd just gone in there and the shutters have just come down.
Yeah, literally. I was just sort of like, I don't know what to do. I was just sat outside and I was like, I don't
not getting there, am I?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Like, so I just sort of left it to it. But the biggest scam I had done, cheeky fucker done to me. But a guy bought a Ferrari 458 bonnet from me years ago, red one. Still remember it. I think it was 1,250 quid he paid. But this was the time when PayPal and eBay were linked together. So he paid on PayPal. He was a Scottish guy. He had the Scottish accent and all that. Come down in a hire van. Don't think nothing of it, you know. Come down in a hire van. He said, yeah, I've come to pick a bonnet up. Paid online. Yeah, so he said, I've got to go and pick a bumper up for the same car now down, I believe it was Kent, somewhere down south, I think it was. I was like, oh, cool, nice one. Don't think nothing of it. He even shook my hand and everything, the guy did. I was like, yeah, sound. And then a week later, opened a PayPal dispute saying I haven't had my item. And I was like, what the fuck, what's this? I didn't know what a PayPal dispute was because I'd never had it done before. I was like, nah, guy's trying to scam me, ain't he? He's trying to do me over. And then I spoke to PayPal and they was like, have you got any proof of him being there? I'm like, nah, I ain't got nothing. It was like, any like signed documents? I was like, nah, like the guy shook my hand. Took the piece, shook my hand and like, I was like, I remember what he looks like, but like, no, I've got no pictures of him. I've got no reg of the van again because it's a hire van. I said, the only thing I've got an eBay address because he bought it on eBay. Obviously back then he just paid online and just said I'll come and pick it up. Yeah. So I googled the address and it was a new housing plot that hadn't been built. I was obviously yeah. As soon as I seen that, I was like, he stitched me up big time. But then the best of it was the guy with the bumper phoned me a couple of weeks later. I still don't know how he managed to get in touch with me. He must have done a bit of research online or something to see, because obviously Ferrari 458, they ain't the rare car, and I never mind a salvage one. And he must have found that we sold this bonnet, and he was like, mate, have you sold a bonnet recently for this 458? And I'm like, yeah, so I've been like done over. He's like, mate, the same guy has done me over for the bumper. So he's done exactly the same trick. He paid for the bumper. Yeah. I think the bumper was $1,000. Paid online, picked up in person. And I said, have you got any pictures? He's like, I've got cameras, but it's at the back of his head. And the picture he had was proper shit. It was like, you can see him and his mate carrying the bumper, but the backs, you can't see the faces there, and you can't see the van they're in. It was like a white van, the same white van that I'd seen him. It was like a Mercedes or whatever it was. Same scenario that.
Man, I was going to say that.
No tracking proof or any sort of proof he's picked it up. we're going to have to figure
So
it
how
out.
would you get around that now?
Well, now because like PayPal and eBay have gone the separate ways, eBay have put the collection codes in place now, so which is like purposely to stop people trying to scam me. So
Got
people
ya.
can pay online if they're not happy with paying cash or whatever, and then they give you like a QR code or a 6-digit
Sick.
number, scan it on your phone, and it comes all up confirmed. And ever since that, touch wood, I've never had any issues with the collection code. It's always worked bang on.
Mad though, man.
I wish
458 as
I
well.
should have done that years
Yeah,
ago.
man, that's crazy though, man.
Well, because you
Such a
haven't
rare car as well.
What's that?
Such a rare car as well.
Yeah,
like a
that's what I mean. You
458.
think like someone buying that sort of car, I don't
What's he
know.
doing with them? He's obviously just reselling them again, isn't
It
he?
must be, mate. Yeah, just like, I don't know. You just think the rare car anyway, never mind a salvage one. Like, surely there's not a salvage unless it was his own car that he bumped or something.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to find
Shit,
parts.
bro's just like flat broke, and he's just like, do you know what? I've got to
Yeah,
sort this
let's
out.
go and rob the parts for fucking nothing like. But again, obviously, he must have been in the know because I had no idea this was a thing back then. But yeah, that's probably the worst one we had. That was like a long time ago. Oh, we had someone nick a bumper off me.
Can I start with that? Yeah. Got someone nick a bumper off you?
Yeah.
Mad, well, so we'll get onto that in a sec.
Yeah, the other one, I had a bumper nicked as well, which is fucking mad.
Straight nicked?
Yeah, like this was a good few years ago again. A couple of guys come. It was only an Audi, it was an Audi A4. I remember it was an Audi A4 B8, 2008, 2012, rear bumper. It was brand new in prime match, needed painting. And these two guys come. They think nothing of them again. Seem legit guys. And they were like, yeah, come for the A4 bumper. I was like, yeah, so I've got it out. And stupidly now, look back, they was on my drive and I got the bumper out. We'd agreed a price, cash again. And they was like, oh, we got no cash on us. And I was like, all right, well, there was literally a cash point not far from where I work. And they were like, oh, can we pay with? It was something like, I've never heard of it. It's called PayPal, what was it? PayPal Express or something. I was like, and at the time I was like, yeah, PayPal, yeah, same, no worries. And I was like, PayPal Express. I was like, is this Dodge? I was like, nah, it should be all right. So,
Yeah.
and then, no, it was something PayPal Express or Debit Card Express or something. I was like, he's like, I just need your debit card details so I can transfer you. And I was like, all right, sound. They think nothing of it. And I'm telling you, I walked, like, where my window is, he parked in front of my window. The two guys did. And my wallet was in my desk by the computer. And literally, by the time I got round to my office, got my wallet, I looked, and they were loading the bumper in the car. No. And I was like, fuck me, they're trying. So I fucking ran out the office. And I'm not kidding you, they went up the road, the boot was fucking open. The back end of the bumper was fucking in the car. They just ragged it and fucked off. And I was like, you got to be joking, mate. The bumper's 150 quid. And I was like, they've just shafted me for 150 quid, man. And I was like, the people that desperate to fucking... But then, like, thinking back now, I'm like, whatever this, like, I don't know, debit card express, I was like, yeah, some bullshit thing they've made up.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never, like, stupid. But when they said it was, like, debit card related, I was like, oh, yeah, it must just be, like, a new payment thing or whatever. And
Was this like early doors? Like,
yeah, this was, like, oh, man, 8-9 years ago.
Yeah,
I've been
time
easy.
ago.
Yeah, and I ain't seen them guys again, to be fair, so... Maybe they were doing the rounds one day, doing like a, I don't know, a load of dodgy dealings,
Yeah,
buying
man,
parts
just
and
doing loads of
fucking
stuff.
stealing off everyone. Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, that was, they're probably the worst three things I've had. I ain't had much. Like, I've had people, you know, on eBay claiming they haven't had items and stuff like that.
Is that easy to deal with?
It is now, yeah. I think like with PayPal before, it was more difficult because of like, PayPal always used to say, because we're not, PayPal and eBay are still two separate companies, although they were partnered, they'd always go on the fence of like, well, you need to speak to eBay about the situation. You speak to eBay, they say, well, PayPal took the payment, you probably need to speak to them. You just keep getting passed to each different company. I'm like, I'm not getting any, like, nothing's getting resolved. But I think now PayPal have gone. eBay are pretty bang on with like the disputes, and people will file like payment disputes and they'll just make out that the card's been used unauthorised and all that sort of stuff. Like, and a lot of the time it goes into the bank's hands then. So eBay always say it's literally up to the banks whether you get a refund. But I think, to be honest, I've near enough won every single case really.
Yeah, literally,
stuff like
so
that. They
rare.
just literally refund me. I know eBay refund them as well, so eBay must lose out a bit
Yeah.
as well. Where like, again, like I've had one recently. Someone reckoned they had an item from me, and I had picture proof that it was delivered, but it was behind a wheelie bin. It sounds a bit dodgy, but behind a wheelie bin.
Standard though, isn't it?
But
Really?
it was in a cul-de-sac off the main road, and the courier had pushed the bin up against this item in the box. Took a picture of it, and then the guy only then told me he was out the country when he ordered it, and I was like, mate, if you'd have said something, like I would have posted it when you come back off your holiday or whatever. And then he was like, well, I want a refund or a replacement. I was like, I ain't got a replacement for one, so I'll have to sleep with eBay's hands, because like I've got picture proof it's been delivered. I don't think why would anyone rob it for? They wouldn't even know what it was.
Literally.
And you can't
What
see
was it?
Wheel.
Just the wheel.
Yeah, alloy wheel. Yeah. I mean, it's a couple £100 wheel, but again, it's
What
in
was
a
it for?
box.
Do you remember what it was for?
A45 AMG. It's very recent, very recent. But, just in case he's watching. But like, God's honest truth, we had the picture proof from APC and that.
Literally.
And I was like, mate, we're an honest company. If I had another wheel, I'd send one out to you, but I haven't got one for the particular one that you've bought.
So it's up to eBay, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so I leave in eBay's hands. They favoured with us, but they refunded him.
Yeah.
So we got reimbursed, the customer got reimbursed. So whether, again, he was telling the truth.
No one's at fault. Yeah, I know whether he...
Horrible as it sounds, it could be a genuine mistake. Someone may have robbed it. I don't know, but that's why I was like, we shouldn't be in the red for this, because we've done our job.
You've been delivered.
We didn't know he was out the country. I was like, why would you order something and then go on holiday for 2 weeks or whatever?
Literally not tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell us.
Obviously, you're going to deliver it.
Yeah, we can delay it, can't we?
Who do you ship your items with?
So we got APC, DPD, for like quite the decent stuff, like the headlights and that. Cheap stuff, just use like Packlink, Every, Yodel on eBay and that. I only use them for like cheap stuff though. Stuff
Like
that's got not
cheap,
much value.
Every's got really bad rap on it, like really bad. It used to be Hermes, didn't it? Or Hermes, didn't it?
That's Hermes, yeah. I think
people robbing Canada Gooses and that.
Yeah, I had one. What might be about December. Some like little trims that fitted in like a Volkswagen Golf bumper. There was only 40 quid delivered, and the guy had took a picture of them in like, you know, them storage boxes that you got, plastic storage boxes. He was in a storage box, and the bloke who bought from me says, I ain't got a storage box at my house. And he took a picture of his house, and I was like, okay, whether he's moved the storage box, I don't know, but I was like, the every fucking picture was like a storage box. I was like,
some random place.
And it was on a busy main road, and I was like, that could be freaking anyone. I'm trying to speak to Every. It was like, it wasn't automated, like I was getting responses from someone at one of the depots or whatever, but they were just like, yeah, we can't find it. Is there anything else we can help with? And I'm like, well, no. So it's a case of lost, not the end of the world, but like their lips was like, we can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
They're obviously gone, and that's why I don't send expensive stuff. I always just send the cheap, cheerful stuff with them. Everything valuable. APC is probably the best one, to be honest.
Well, I've never heard of APC. What's APC? Is it just for...
It's just like another courier like DPD, really. So they're like DPD, they deliver all like your boxed items and that. It's all 24-hour service again. Tracking's pretty good. Customer gets texts and emails with like a 2-hour window when they're going to get the item. And you can request like bits on there, you know. If not, you live with a neighbour and they'll find a neighbour, stuff like that. They've got like a bit on there as well on our portal system where you can pay a couple of quid extra and they put it in like a separate cage. So they call it like fragile service.
Yeah.
So I always do that on the headlights that are like...
Because I imagine the headlights are really prone to getting fucked up, aren't they?
Yeah. If you don't wrap them correct, like they do get... Like,
obviously you teach people how to wrap them
correctly. Yeah. They're still fully covered again, like, but if you don't wrap them well, chances are you're going to get a couple of issues here and there. But APC, if you put them on this fragile service we use, it's a case of... we feel like they look after them a bit better. They put them in separate cages rather than like all the other cages with all the other stuff that just gets chucked in the back of wagons and stuff. Ours get loaded into like a separate pile along with other stuff. But again, because it costs extra, I don't think everyone will pay for that service. Where we use that just we find that we don't get any damages that way with the expensive stuff. But yeah, APC, DPD are really good, to be honest. Their tracking system's really good. Like you can, 24-hour again and stuff. So yeah, it's really good to be fair.
All very interesting, mate. I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there. Obviously, we're hosting this webinar, so the link's in the description to learn from Ryan for free about all this, like how you can get involved, how you can get started with this car part flipping and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, mate, it's an incredible story. There's some banging stories and stuff in there, and I think it's so sick, like, for people who are interested in cars. I love cars and stuff, so it's just mad to hear all these stories and stuff. It's sick, and it's good to hear that there's great money to be made in it, and that like anyone can do it. Really,
yeah, definitely, mate. There's like you say, I started from nothing. I had no idea about the car industry, and then fast forward to now, it's fairly straightforward to do now. So yeah, I think anyone, if you're in the car industry, it would help, but it doesn't mean, you know, if you're in an office job, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Like it's like CCN, it's such, isn't it, really? You buy items, someone that tells you to buy and sell them on, essentially.
You tell people what to look out for, how to figure it all out. Like, do you know what I mean? You can literally start that with like no car experience. I've watched like literally 99% of your course, and it's just like, it's so straightforward to follow.
Yeah. I'll try and break it down as simple as possible, and again,
just knowing what you're looking for and knowing all these fine little bits and stuff. And when I was watching it, another thing we'd obviously not mentioned, I know we said we was going to stop now, but it's like even like fake like not genuine headlights, like replica ones and stuff, like you got to watch out for. It's just knowing all these little bits of stuff in it.
Yeah, anything aftermarket, again, which the course covers. Aftermarket ones you want to stay clear of, non-genuine ones you want to stay clear of them, really. You just want the real stuff, because non-genuine, sometimes you'll get people complain that they don't fit correct. Even though they're insurance approved, sometimes they still don't fit. Then you're going to get people moan. You're going to end up refunding or sending partial refunds over so they can make it fit. Genuine stuff, you won't have that issue. Like, as long as the car's straight, it's a case of the part will fit 100%, and you won't get any faults of like, oh, it's not fitting correct or whatever. It's a genuine part at the end of the day that it should. If it's not fitting, there must be something wrong with the car. If it's like damaged in that way, there must be a panel damaged or something that's not fitting in.
So it must be a bit out of like a bit wonky.
Definitely. So genuine parts is the way forward, definitely. So
good stuff, mate. Well, we'll leave it there, man. The link's in the description to register for Ryan's free training. But yeah, thank you for coming on, mate. It's a pleasure to hear your story.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, sick.
Appreciate it, mate. Nice one.
We'll leave it there.
Super duper.
Bang it, mate.